Have you ever wondered if, in a world where information is power, there are still secrets capable of changing the destiny of nations? Get ready to have your perception of geopolitics and technology turned upside down, because what I'm about to reveal to you now about China, Taiwan, and the relentless gaze of satellites is so counterintuitive and shocking that few even dare to imagine it. Many believe that invasion plans are kept under lock and key, but what if I told you that the sky, literally, is revealing every movement, every intention, even before the first soldier sets foot on enemy soil? If you're tired of superficial information and seek to unravel the deepest and most urgent mysteries of our planet, which will give you a mental clarity most will never have, then stick with me. You're about to discover how space surveillance is rewriting the rules of war and peace, and the reward is an understanding that will transform your worldview forever. If you think state secrets can still be kept under lock and key, you're mistaken. We live in an era where the sky has become the greatest spy, and satellites, those tireless eyes orbiting our planet, are the new guardians of information that shapes the destiny of nations. It's one of those technological curiosities that makes us question the very notion of privacy and secrecy in an increasingly transparent world. Global geography has never been so exposed. Well, the ability to observe every movement on the Earth's surface, with previously unimaginable precision, has radically transformed geopolitics. It's no longer just about listening to conversations or deciphering codes. Now, it's possible to see the construction of military bases, the movement of troops, the deployment of ships, and even the expansion of critical infrastructure. It's like having a living, constantly updated map, where every pixel can reveal an intention, a strategy, a plan. The geographical curiosities of sensitive regions are now scrutinized with impressive detail. This new era of space surveillance isn't just about collecting data, it's about interpreting it, connecting the dots, and anticipating scenarios. Governments and intelligence agencies invest billions to access these images, transforming space into a new silent battlefield, where information is the most powerful weapon. And it is precisely this ability to see the invisible that allows us to begin unraveling the movements of powers like China in relation to Taiwan, a crucial point of tension in the global scenario. If geopolitics were a chess game, Taiwan would undoubtedly be one of the most coveted and, at the same time, most vulnerable pieces on the board. It's not just an island, it's a vital strategic node in the heart of the Indo-Pacific, a choke point for global trade routes, and a nerve center for cutting-edge technology production, especially semiconductors. It's one of those geographical curiosities that transform a piece of land into an epicenter of power and tension, where every move can have global repercussions. Historically, Taiwan represents the last frontier of the Chinese Civil War, a refuge for the nationalist government that opposes Beijing's communist regime. For China, the island is a rebellious province that must be reunified, no matter the cost, a historical and nationalist imperative. For the United States and its allies, Taiwan is a bastion of democracy and a crucial economic partner, whose autonomy is vital for the balance of power in the region. It's one of those political curiosities that makes us question the limits of sovereignty and self-determination. This dispute over Taiwan is not just a matter of territory, it's a clash of ideologies, political systems, and worldviews. The island's geography, with its mountains and coastline, offers natural challenges for a possible invasion, but also makes it a strategic target. And it is precisely this multifaceted importance that places it at the center of satellite surveillance, where every detail can be an indication of the next steps in this complex power game. If you want to understand a power's intentions, observe its muscles. And when we talk about China, its military muscles are impressive and, more importantly, visible from space. The People's Liberation Army, PLA, has invested massively in modernization, focusing on power projection capabilities that would be crucial in a Taiwan invasion scenario. It's one of those strategic curiosities that show us how military technology is redefining the global balance of power. Satellites don't lie. They capture the expansion of naval and air bases on the Chinese coast, the construction of new aircraft carriers and amphibious assault ships, and the increase in ballistic and cruise missile capabilities. Every new runway, every expanded dock, every large-scale military exercise is valuable data that, when analyzed together, forms a clear picture of capabilities and intentions. China's coastal geography, once a point of defense, now becomes a platform for power projection. This remote observation capability allows analysts to identify training patterns, supply logistics, and even the combat doctrine being practiced. It's not just about the number of tanks or planes, it's about how they move, where they position themselves, and how often. The geographical curiosities of their military installations, such as the expansion of civilian ports for dual use, reveal a preparation that goes beyond rhetoric, paving the way to understand exactly what satellites look for in invasion scenarios. If you've ever wondered how intelligence analysts manage to predict military movements, the answer lies in observing patterns. In an invasion scenario, especially a complex amphibious operation like that of Taiwan, there is a series of activities that, when viewed from space, trigger alarm bells. It's one of those military strategy curiosities that transforms the invisible into the predictable, and the geography of a region into a map of intentions. Satellites look for signs of mass mobilization, the unusual increase in trains transporting military equipment, the concentration of amphibious vehicles in civilian and military ports, the construction or expansion of landing ramps, and the setup of field hospitals. Furthermore, the intensification of military exercises simulating landings and urban combat, with the participation of different branches of the armed forces, is a crucial indicator. Every logistical movement, no matter how small, leaves a digital footprint that can be captured and analyzed. The geographical curiosities of training areas, for example, can reveal combat doctrine. Other patterns include the movement of civilian transport ships to strategic ports, which could be used to transport troops and equipment, and the activation of air defense and missile systems in offensive positions. Satellite image analysis allows for identifying the scale and nature of preparation, distinguishing a routine exercise from a real mobilization. It is this ability to connect the dots, to see the forest and not just the trees, that transforms space surveillance into an indispensable tool for anticipating scenarios and, perhaps, preventing conflicts. If the intention is to invade, the first step is to disable the target's defense and response capabilities. And this is where satellite surveillance becomes crucial for identifying the critical infrastructure that would be targeted in a conflict scenario. It's not just about military bases, ports, airports, communication centers, and even energy grids become points of interest. It's one of those modern warfare curiosities that shows how technological interdependence creates new vulnerabilities, and a country's geography becomes a map of sensitive points. Satellite images allow for a detailed analysis of the resilience and vulnerabilities of these infrastructures. It's possible to identify a port's capacity to receive large ships, the length of a runway to operate different types of aircraft, or the location of command and control centers. This information is vital for both those planning an attack and those who need to defend. The geographical curiosities of urban and industrial areas, for example, can reveal the density of potential targets and the difficulty of protecting them. Furthermore, continuous observation can reveal usage and maintenance patterns that indicate the strategic importance of certain facilities. A power plant operating at maximum capacity, or a data center with unusual activity, can be signs that they are being prepared for a crucial role in a conflict. This ability to map and understand critical infrastructure is a constant cat-and-mouse game, where information is key to survival, paving the way to understand how Taiwan and its allies respond to this surveillance. If China is watching, Taiwan and its allies are not standing still. Satellite surveillance is a two-way street, and the island has invested heavily in its own intelligence capabilities, including the use of satellites and collaboration with international partners. The objective is clear: to detect any sign of invasion preparation as early as possible, gaining precious time to mobilize defenses and seek support. It's one of those national security curiosities that shows how power asymmetry can be compensated by intelligence and innovation. Taiwan has implemented a series of countermeasures to hinder the observation and identification of its own military assets. This includes the use of camouflage, the dispersion of forces, and the construction of underground and fortified infrastructures. Furthermore, the island conducts military exercises that simulate invasion scenarios, testing its defenses and improving coordination with allies. Taiwan's mountainous geography, with its caves and tunnels, offers a natural refuge for these operations, making satellite detection an even greater challenge. Taiwan's allies, especially the United States, also maintain continuous monitoring of the region, sharing information and analyses to create a comprehensive intelligence picture. This global surveillance network is crucial for deterrence and for rapid response in case of an escalation. The geographical curiosities of maritime and air routes around Taiwan are constantly patrolled, revealing the complexity of defending a strategic island and setting the stage for the discussion about the future of space surveillance. If satellite surveillance is already impressive today, imagine the future. The space race for increasingly sophisticated satellite constellations, with higher resolution and real-time monitoring capabilities, is just beginning. This means that global transparency will increase exponentially, making it increasingly difficult for any nation to hide its intentions or military movements. It's one of those technological curiosities that makes us question the limits of observation and the implications for national sovereignty, and the planet's geography will become an open book. However, this evolution brings new challenges. The proliferation of satellites, both governmental and commercial, raises questions about cybersecurity, privacy, and the risk of accidents or attacks in space. Furthermore, the ability to interpret and analyze the massive volume of data generated will require significant advances in artificial intelligence and machine learning. The geography of space, once seen as a vacuum, now becomes a congested and disputed environment, with direct implications for global security. This era of space surveillance redefines the rules of the geopolitical game. Deterrence may become more effective as intentions become more transparent, but it also increases the risk of escalation if data interpretation is flawed or malicious. The ability to see the invisible is a blessing and a curse, and the geographical curiosities of every corner of the world will be under unprecedented scrutiny, requiring a new approach to diplomacy and international security. So, we've together unraveled the deep layers of how satellites are redefining geopolitics, revealing geographical and technological curiosities that shape the destiny of nations. You've seen how the transparency imposed by the sky's gaze can be a powerful tool for peace, but also a catalyst for escalation if misinterpreted. But now, what will you do with all this knowledge? Will you merely be surprised by the complexity of the global scenario, or will you use it to look at your own life with that same depth and anticipation? Think about it. If governments invest billions to predict their adversaries' next move, what are you doing to predict and prepare for the challenges in your own life? What are your internal satellites that help you monitor your own plans and goals? True wisdom is not just about knowing, but about applying that understanding to transform your reality and that of those around you. Isn't it time to become the strategist of your own life? If this conversation has ignited a flame within you, if it has awakened the desire to go beyond the obvious and become a master in the art of deciphering the world, and yourself, then you're in the right place. Don't let this journey end here. To continue unraveling the mysteries of our time and honing your ability to see the invisible, do yourself a favor, leave your like on this content, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. The next step in this adventure of knowledge is waiting for you.